So let's just go ahead. Let's dive right the fuck in. What are our thoughts on Many Saints of Newark?
I hated
Angela,
this
I'll
film.
let you. I'll let you just a little bit quickly describe what the hell this shit is about and why they even like why.
I can't even tell you what the fuck it's about, Ron. I can't tell you because
That's the
it's a
problem.
movie about
God,
it's a
that's
movie
the
about Dickie. You can't listen. I am all for Hollywood, you know, just letting us know what a movie's about. But don't
yeah.
flash Gandolfini's son all over the trailer,
Yup.
making it think like I'm about to
Yup.
see a freaking Tony Soprano come along movie, and then you
Yup.
have to deal with fucking Dickie the whole time. And then we got two Ray Liotas. You got his bullshit. The guy's wife looked more like Carmella than fucking Tony's
We
girlfriend
got
did.
we got 30 seconds of Carmella.
Listen, the
And
thing
she
is,
says what, 3 words?
she said three words of it, and she winds up on her ass on the sidewalk because Tony's got a loose cannon. I mean, like literally, there's that meme of that taxidermied monkey thing that just stands there like
Yeah.
this. That's how I was for the most of the film. Gandolfini's kid's in it for maybe 18 minutes.
The taxidermy monkey or the cat.
And like the thing is, like they had me. I had a couple drinks that day. I was feeling
Yeah.
good. I had some
Right.
pizza. Everything was shaping up
So
to
did
a
I.
great
So did I.
evening. Great evening.
When I watched this movie, I had some whiskey on me. I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna sit down. We're gonna watch this. I'm gonna have a great night. 2 hours of basically Sopranos prequel. Let's ride. And an hour in, I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you know what?
I'm
I
like,
can finish this tomorrow.
yeah, I was. I think at one point Brianna looked at me. He was like, "How long is left
Like,
in this?" I'm like, "45 more minutes." It's like, well, what are we doing here?
it was
Oh, this
okay.
is the
So
perfect example. This is the perfect example of rushing something out just to get it out. Where if you would have developed it as a series, given it 7, 8 episodes to really develop characters and get some shit
just
going,
like,
you
just
had
like,
something.
yeah. So at the end of it, I had that same exact thought. I was okay. This is either one, they simply just didn't have enough of an idea for this, and they tried to make something that could have been like a random episode in the middle of the show,
Flashback
where
episode.
like sometimes they do like a flashback episode.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like it felt like they almost took an episode that could have been a flashback episode and were like, let's just take that idea that was probably thrown out and then make it a movie.
Right.
But they didn't have enough, so like they just kind of just fucking did
There's
whatever.
there's so many
Or they
things
had an idea and they were like, let's make it a movie instead of a fucking show because they want to put it out quickly.
right.
But again, like maybe a show would have been better. Maybe a show would have been better for us to see to get a better understanding of why we even had to
There's
like.
so
And it
much.
didn't have to be a 6-season show. Just maybe a
It could have been.
one
It could have been.
season
It could have been one
miniseries like
season.
Queen's Gambit.
It could have been one season, maybe two, and you had everything kind of lined up. If it wasn't going to be all about Tony, I'm fine with that. That's not my biggest thing. I just hate where they kind of lie to you. It's like, this is what this
Yeah.
movie's about, and you watch it, and it's like, no.
Right.
There's just
Right.
there's so many things that were going on in my mind watching this. I'm like, if you're a big Sopranos fan and you watch the movie, I would feel kind of turned off by anything else that they're going to come out with because
Right.
I really
Yeah,
just
of
didn't
course.
think it was executed
Yeah.
the way it could have been. I'm not being an old man yelling at a cloud. I don't think it was executed the way
Yeah.
it should have been. What they have now, though, I guess, is the framework where if you actually want to follow Tony now from the point of him growing up to getting made, and then from the point of him getting made to where this actual show starts, you have that ability. It seems like his son's on record saying he doesn't want to play any other character in his whole career unless it's Tony Soprano, which I think is, I mean, it's a great ode to your father, but come on, man, let's get some paychecks in you. But even more
Yeah.
so, if you make those into series, that you could get 2 years out of Tony Soprano at 16 until he gets made, and then 3 seasons out of him getting made to where the show starts. Like, you have the ability to really capitalize on this. I just don't know if I want to go through it because I feel slighted now.
Right. I completely agree with. After I saw the movie, basically how you were just asked like, what's this movie about, and you were like, I don't know, and that's really where I was like by the end of it. I'm like, what did I just watch, and why did I watch it? Like, what?
Yeah.
What was the
other than an entirely like fan servicey, just like, oh, here's Silvio young, here's Junior young, here's this lady young.
Look,
like
the whole. What are they doing? You couldn't do better than that.
I mean, like, when you're doing a prequel for something like this, of course the fan service is going to be present. We know that. But that there is also a line before it gets from the tip of the hat fan service to the there's a fine line, and a lot of this movie just really like kept doing that. And like for me, the biggest thing that I was like, you didn't need to do that, was when baby Christopher and then Tony wants to cut, and then the crime thing, and he's like, oh yeah, baby. So it's like, we know Tony killed Chris. We know it's the 4th time you've told us. Like, we know the dramatic irony that's going on here. Like, you don't have to keep like hitting it. I think that I also don't honestly, the Ray Liotta twin thing. I was almost completely checked out when that happened, and I'm like,
Can I just bring something up just to get it out of the way? Ray Liotta in this film looks like the mask they're using for Michael Myers in Halloween Kills. He does. Nearly identical. God, he does. Nearly Holy identical. Shit, and I kept thinking about that every time he was on screen. Like, what?
He looks fucking terrible.
When he was laughing at the dinner table in the beginning of the movie, to me it really looked like the roach monster in Men in Black when he pulls his head back.
Yeah.
There was really like that comparison, and I was like, this guy's done. And I was here thinking like, oh, this guy's gonna be it's Ray Liotta. We're talking Goodfellas fame. Like, he's gonna be big in this movie. No. Dies very quickly, and then he just comes back for a couple scenes as his twin in jail.
Yeah,
and I feel like they were like, all right, Ray, we're gonna hire you here for this movie. This is what we're doing. You're gonna be this role. You're gonna get killed. About 10 minutes into the movie, and that's what we're gonna do. And then he was like, no.
He's like, the hell you are.
I'm not gonna die 10 minutes into the movie. I need more. So they were like,
you have a
twin brother that comes back. Twin brother that comes back and he's in jail, so you don't have to be in the movie. Like,
the twin brother thing also felt like again, this is another thing, and I'm not comparing this to the Star Wars prequels, but we're talking about prequels in general and the difficulty with their execution. We remember for the longest time people hated the Star Wars prequels. I was a fan from the beginning. Why? Because they dared to do something completely different with what the original was. The Ray Liotta in prison thing, what that ultimately ended up being to me, even though, of course, it's a movie, not a miniseries, so there's only so much of it you can do, is that this is supposed to kind of take that place of the Tony Melfi dynamic. It's this soul speaking kind of wisdom and truth to this sociopath or this person with whatever problems who isn't really keen on listening. Although, well, actually, that's the mystery of the end. I will give its flowers. There are a few things to this movie that I will give its flowers. One, kind of somewhat to the ending of the original. David Chase clearly likes to leave things with questions. So what was Dickie going to talk to Tony about? Was it going to be like, get a good life, do something else? Or was it going to be to bringing him into the business? Like, which one of the two was he going to encourage? So I think that was something I liked about it. Sorry, this movie's hard. What else do I like about this thing? Oh, two, honestly, something that also speaks to both of your ideas of the potentials for miniseries or anything moving forward is that we kind of had a closure to the Dickie story with Christopher in the show. As we know, remember in that one season where Tony's like, we found out what the cop that killed your dad. And then the guy was like, no, like I didn't kill. But like we've been watching so many Sopranos by that point. We're like, kill the motherfucker, Christopher. Yes, he did. And now it's clear like that's not true. It was fucking Junior, and that also is not out of character for someone like Junior.
Correct.
So
Fucking
it
hate
didn't.
Junior.
I hate Junior with all. I fucking hate that guy.
I
Jesus.
hated Junior. I hated Junior in the
Then-
original, and I hated this
You know what?
motherfucker here.
Now-
That's something
And
they did right.
that's one of
That's
the
something they did
positive things
right.
that they did right.
That's something
Yes.
they did
Because
right.
it made me hate Junior the same way that I hated him in the show, and that was very well done. Plus, the guy that acted as Junior did actually
Pretty
a
good.
good job.
Pretty good.
Did it really?
With the dumbass glasses and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really good job. Yeah.
I actually liked, and I feel somewhat. I almost want to like do some research if it was intentional that the actress who played Livia Soprano looked so much like Carmela,
Look like her. I had to.
because we know that Tony throughout the series, one of his biggest demons was the relationship with his mother. So
Oh, right.
to marry someone that kind of looks like her,
That's also not uncommon for people to do that.
right?
Right.
And
So
that
it
that
makes
makes sense. So
It
just
makes sense.
yeah,
Like he marries a woman that's looks like his mother and kind of
embodied,
acts like his
yeah.
mother. So
that connect was
Yeah.
strong. I thought
and
some of
it's not like you can tell in the movie he had a great relationship with his father. I mean, his uncle was his role
Best
model,
friend.
really.
Because
his
dad
uncle
best
was
friend.
his
Yeah.
father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uncle
So it makes sense that he would be obviously more attached and have a better relationship with his mother. So that's
I will
makes
say
sense.
it makes him killing Christopher all the more tragic. You killed the son of the man that you probably loved as your own father.
right.
Yeah, it's kind of deep.
That's very fucked up, and that adds more emphasis to the dark demise of Tony Soprano.
But see, here's the thing, though, Gab. Like, it's to the point that we made in the beginning of this review. It's like they had the idea there, and in this case, I don't think that there's anything wrong with what they had here and what they had said.
No, the idea was phenomenal. Your mistake
Like-
was I actually tweeted this as soon as I finished the movie. I said the problem with this Many Saints of Newark is that it is an episode without a series to belong to.
Yeah,
That's the problem
Yes,
with it.
very good
It's an episode where there's all this story and you feel it because David Chase is not a bad writer. He made
Right.
a
Yeah,
classic, and these are his characters, right? It's not like it was handed down to someone else at a
Yes.
studio.
It literally felt like you took out one episode from a series
from a series,
and gave it to people, and we're like, here's the episode.
but
But you go into it not knowing, and then you leave it not knowing.
yeah,
Yeah, still not knowing. There's no answer.
Fico, I agree with you and how the promotion was very manipulative.
Right. Yes. That's
Very
yes.
like it was going to be a Tony.
Yes.
Now, my question for that also is, we know that this movie was supposed to come out a long ass time ago. This movie was supposed to come out a long time ago. This was also one of the casualties of the pandemic. And
you think they changed things?
Well, I think that because this is HBO Max, and The Many Saints of Newark became a victim to the same day release thing, so they already knew they were going to lose box office money. I wonder if the promo strategy shifted from really telling it as if like that what it was actually going to focus on to
point.
really lay in heavy into the things that they know made the show a hit to bring
Right,
people
right,
out
right,
to
right.
go see it.
I
I'm still
think-
not okay with it, but I'm wondering if that had something to do with it.
From a business standpoint, I understand them having to do that.
Yeah, I'm still like I'm with Fico though. I'm butthurt.
Yeah, no, it sucks because again, like I think Tony Soprano was in maybe a collective 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and like even his kid, like his actual son,
Yeah,
might have had as much screen time as like little fat chubby Tony's baby Soprano.
yeah.
The progression of
Right.
growing up, like it just felt And you know what?
And I agree about this, and it's crazy for me to say it, but it also just goes to show like how we take in entertainment has completely shifted. It used to be movie was king, but television is king now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
I
thing
think
with
so.
this is that what you gave us was a 2-hour pilot. That was a 2-hour pilot.
Right.
And there's more to tell because even though I don't think he said him by name, but I know that in the scene with Carmela, the friend, that's Jackie Aprile, Senior. The kid who's fighting with the sandwiches.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah,
Jackie
yeah,
Aprile Senior. And we
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that in the show, he becomes the boss.
Right.
So, and there were no other Apriles in the business in this movie.
I didn't see
or hear anyone else. So
right.
there's clearly, and this character, this kid, he becomes the boss of this family.
And there's, I mean, yeah, because think about it. When the show starts, Jackie is he's like, doesn't he have a heart attack or something like that?
He is. Does he have like cancer or some shit? He's sick.
Or he has cancer or something. He's like, he's in the hospital.
He's in the hospital. Yeah.
So again, like, I don't mind. So if this were a series, I wouldn't mind at all if it were a series about the Moltisantis.
Right. And you know what? I knew there was going to be a lot of focus on them because Moltisanti is many saints in Newark.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Makes sense.
Right.
But I just assumed that it was going to intertwine with Tony. Like I thought the way they sold it, like it just. Yeah.
That's and that's the thing. It's like
Fico, you just blew my mind. I didn't even pick up. Holy shit! It was right there in the name.
Yeah, I thought it was a red herring. I didn't think it was going to be all. And then I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm just saying, like I wouldn't mind if the focus, if this was a mini series, at least an 8-episode series.
Yeah.
Whatever. Where you got the rise of Chris's dad to the point where he gets killed,
right?
Or
that guy
even
Harold,
after whatever.
That guy Harold, that like he goes away from Jersey after he kills that kid, and then he comes back, and obviously some time has gone by. Yes. You could do an episode of where he goes, how he gets back, and then the opportunity was there.
I have a question. Is it clarified who is the boss of the family in this movie? Is it Tony's dad?
No, it's
They did mention.
It's not Dickie.
It's not Dickie.
No, Moltisanti's dad, the guy with the fucking crazy
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta. He's the boss in the beginning.
Yeah, but then he dies, and who becomes boss?
Then he dies.
You're saying Dickie,
and then
Dickie takes over?
I don't see anybody else taking over.
I don't really see too much illicit activity, to be honest.
I didn't see anybody like taking over, and then
there was no confirmation of who was leading the family.
Who was running the gang?
Yeah, after he died. Maybe it was Dickie, just because by the end in the warehouse, when Silvio goes to him, just kind of like the dynamic of that conversation made it feel like maybe Dickie was the head.
Maybe,
right. And,
but it wasn't really confirmed.
And Junior, and why would Junior, like, you know what I mean? Like,
true.
Junior for a very long time wanted to be the boss,
and he's not taken seriously, and that's Junior's
and he's never taken seriously.
Seriously, right?
So he does this thing. God, so I don't know.
He's got such small dick energy, fucking Junior.
He really does. I fucking hate that.
He's such a piece of shit. Dude.
Honestly, and it's what turns me off. Is what turns me off to the show is because Junior basically lives till the series finale. No, he does live to the series finale.
Yeah.
He survives to the end of the show.
Right,
and I'm like...
that's... You know how many times the rats and the scumbag and the dirt are the ones that survive?
Yeah, I know.
Cockroaches are what survives fucking... nuclear shit, you know what I mean?
I think it could definitely be a good. I think it would be a great one and done. I think I want to see his son, really evolve with the role. I think that's
agreed.
Where and when in Hollywood are there opportunities like that where you get to play your father's iconic role?
Yeah. No, and there's moments in the movie where he is playing him and. He does the voice so well. I mean, I don't know if that's just his natural voice or he's trying to do his dad's voice.
He's trying to do he doesn't actually.
But it sounds like him, and there's the profile is like that's him.
The ending scene,
it's just it's there's moments where you're like, God damn it, I want more of that.
I want more of the kid, and that's the thing. Like,
but it would be too much if it was another series based on him. Yeah. So I don't mind it being him being a side character that's also growing in a series about this.
Right. I
wouldn't mind that.
Again, another That's So Raven moment. I think it's happening. I think that the whether it's another movie, or some kind of a miniseries, I really do think it's going to happen. I do.
Yeah.
I think there's
I mean,
enough
look, man,
of a fandom for it, even if it's just an
HBO
HBO Max original.
If HBO can bring back fucking Game of Thrones type shit,
God damn it.
Yeah.
like after a severe botch at the end of it,
Yeah. Big L.
then like
Huge L.
then I'm pretty sure they're okay with. They can possibly bring something back like this, even if it's just
They'll
miniseries.
get people
and
to watch.
And HBO is not shy with doing like miniseries where like they're not going to overly extend it.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's definitely possible.
So I just don't see. I mean,
they have the weaponry now to go ahead and maybe give us what we expected this movie to be.
yeah.
I just I hope they do it in a better way.
Last question that I have, really, because that's nothing else that I really need to say about this. The casting.
There's one casting that I have a very big problem with.
So
you already said the first letter. You know what I'm going to say.
So Silvio.
Yeah, no.
And Paulie.
Paulie.
So these are two characters that in the original show are so important and iconic, not because they're major roles, but because they are like they're ultimate side characters.
Yeah, they're ultimate supporting roles. Yeah, supporting. Yeah,
and you got these two guys come in that those two out of all of the casting, to me, felt the most forced.
Exactly, and I feel like they
like
gave
in
you the
look,
screen time to kind of like, hey, look,
in like like the guy that's Paulie with the nose and like the hair like starting to kind of like go white, but then like that one was just didn't look good. It didn't look good, and neither did Silvio. Silvio
was very forced. I think that was the most
the acting of like him, the way how he stands, and like it all felt so fake and so forced.
Right. Paulie to me didn't feel as bad as Silvio because
Silvio was the worst. Silvio was the worst
because the problem with Silvio was that it didn't feel like you were playing Silvio as much as you were doing an impression of Silvio.
Yes, an impersonation. I agree.
Yeah. It felt like an impersonation when they're at Janice's party thing at the beginning, and what's his face calls them, and
Janice was pretty good.
Janice was very good.
Very small little scenes that she was in.
That's Janice.
I was like, whoa, that's Janice.
That's Janice. That's fucking Janice. They really nailed it with that casting. When Silvio turns around at that party, I was like, oh god, no.
Yeah, it was just too. It was too. Yeah, it was too.
Is it him when the toupee comes off?
That's him. That's Silvio.
That's Silvio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just. Yeah.
It builds, the movie builds to something like, I feel like I could talk about it forever. It builds this race war. It builds this thing that never never happens.
We had the one scene where the guy from Leslie Odom Jr. where which I did like that scene where they're shooting each other and then
the shootout.
He walks in with the shotgun. Like I loved that scene. That was like my favorite scene though in the movie.
Mm-hmm. That was a good scene.
Same.
And it again, like this is something that I would have liked to have continued. I mean, the thing where the girl sleeps with him.
Yeah.
Again, that's something that I enjoyed that little bit of that drama.
By the show. That's what I'm saying. It's an episode.
Yeah, it's an episode. I love
she tells him like yeah, she was good. She was really good.
And this is the funny part, like she learned English so
Camila
fucking
Cabello,
fast. She learned English so fucking fast.
Yeah.
She goes from not being sport to like full on conversations in like maybe 2 years. It's great. It's great.
Right.
I'm sorry, like the moment I saw her in bed with him, like, girl, you're getting aided.
Someone's like, oh, you're dead.
You're getting aided. You're dating a Multisanti. You're getting aided. Yeah. And she's telling him, and the thing is, she's wearing like that white, which is also that symbolism for death. And there's just that giant body of water right there. I'm like, you had to do it now.
Yeah.
Could do it in a public place, you know. He just gave you a salon. You just made bittersweet, passionate love in a bathroom.
Yep. It was leading up to that.
It was
always going to happen.
The second that I saw the scene and she was the one in bed with him, I said it's over.
Aided.
She is dead.
She's getting aided.
See you later. Good night.
That was fast.
I thought. Okay, this is definitely my last point here. What I didn't understand was Chris,
Mhm.
I thought that he says that Dickie says that his wife, his actual wife, couldn't have kids. So Chris is from the Italian chick?
The actual wife, yeah.
Yeah, it's from the Italian girl.
From the yeah. Chris
Not
is
the Gumad,
not
not
the
the
Gumad. He of the actual wife. Yes.
So eventually she was able to have a kid.
She was able to have a kid, yes.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was like his wife couldn't have a kid. So then he had a kid with the Gumad.
That's what I thought.
And then, but then like, you know, okay.
No, she had it with somehow down the road they were actually able to have Christopher.
Okay, that makes sense. Which is probably makes it easier for him to be able to kill the Gumad because
expendable. Your actual queen is. Yeah.
Plus, she was banging his father. That's a kind of weird dynamic.
Also, very true. Yeah, it's very strange.
But you killed your father because he was hurting her, and then you do it. It's like Chris was
doomed. It's weird because like
Chris was doomed from the start. Yeah,
Chris was doomed from the start.
It's a bad porno. Yeah, poor kid. Jesus Christ. Poor kid.
Okay, scores. It's the top part, boys.
5.
Oh,
it lacked a vision of a story of its own to tell. It didn't know what it wanted to be. You made some characters caricatures. The things you did right, there wasn't enough of it. Poor execution of what should have been done with it. The fan service crossed the line at some points and it wasn't necessary. Believe enough in your material without having to rely so much on your previous legend.
I'm gonna go
there. Yeah. I can go on and on. 5.
I'm debating between 4 and 5.
Ramel, this is a mafia movie. Whack it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm just gonna go with my gut here.
Yeah.
I cannot forgive them taking something that was so good, so incredible for years and butchering it by thinking they could just give us 2 hours of like a shitty prequel that doesn't like it got a 4 because I like the original Sopranos so much.
Yeah. I know. I gave it here's why I gave it a 5, because you did one thing right. You retconned something in the original series that enriched it by revealing that Chris's father's death was actually done by Junior.
Oh,
and,
yes, yeah.
And that gives
that was right.
And that makes me wonder what else, with proper time and investment, can you do to enrich the original?
Correct.
If you keep doing this, because that makes the actual show. Now you watch that scene with the cop and Chris's thing, and even Tony's dynamic with Chris, completely different. Give me more of that shit. A prequel should enrich the original, not copy, enrich it. And that's the only thing to me in this movie that enriches the original story. The rest,
the rest is just crappy fan service.
I go into this movie with so much so much promise I thought that I was going to get for it. I thought I was going to get just a great 2-hour just romp in Soprano land. I didn't get that. And it's one of those things where someone asked me, they were like, well, if it wasn't attached to Sopranos, it would still be a good flick.
No, to be honest, not really.
No, it wouldn't.
Not really.
Dead straight. I'm like, no, it wouldn't be. It was like, if it did, the only reason why I didn't turn the fucking thing off, probably like 45 to 50 minutes in, is because I still had hope that something was going to happen. Like, Tony got a little bit older, like, okay, here we go, Ben's going to pick up. Didn't happen. And because I'm so hurt, and because I feel so slighted, that's why I'm going to give it a 4. Gab almost got me there. Gab almost got me, like, the enrichment of the story with Chris and his father. That almost got me to bump it up to a 5.
That warrants it. That warrants it getting the 4. But it's just like,
but the rest,
could have been worse.
It's not enough, man. It's
not
not enough.
It wasn't for me.
Honestly, it was a giant someone walking into a building who shouldn't be there, and someone going, "Why are you here?" Like that. That's how it felt.
Yeah, it was.
Rest in peace. Next, what's the next announcement? What's next?